making zucchini bread, which is pretty good. I've made this recipe once before. It turned out really great. It's one of the better recipes that I use off of All Recipes. You'll need 2 zucchinis for it. I got organic zucchinis. Not really sure if it makes a big difference when it comes to zucchinis, whether they're organic or not. But for a good zucchini, you don't want it to be too flexible. These are a little flexible, but it should be okay since we're using them to bake. But typically when you want a zucchini, you want it to be pretty firm. First step, wash them off. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And then what you're going to need to buy also, if you don't already have them, is these little aluminum loaf pans. You're going to need 4 for this. And you should spray them before you start mixing stuff. Alright, my first step would be to shred the zucchini. So, make sure you have a good enough sized bowl because it is going to create a lot of zucchini. Okay, after you shred your 2 medium-sized zucchinis, you should have about this much. Okay, the next step is to beat together 3 eggs, 1 cup of vegetable oil, 3 teaspoons vanilla extract, and 2 1/4 cup white sugar. First do the eggs. Always start with eggs. I've noticed almost all recipes start with eggs, and if you don't start with the eggs, it usually messes the recipe up. So, make sure you have a large enough bowl. Then beat them together, or whisk them as I'm doing. It turns out fine if you whisk. Once it looks like that, you're good. Then you put in the olive oil. 1 cup, or not olive oil, I'm sorry, this is vegetable oil. 1 cup of vegetable oil. Mix that in. Make sure they mix well together. The egg yolk is kind of going to coagulate in there, or the egg mixture. Make sure it doesn't do that. Make sure they both mix pretty evenly. Then you need 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which is quite a bit, but it makes them taste great. 1, 2, that's 3. Make sure you mix that in well. Okay, it's going to be a little thicker now. A little thicker than the consistency of the vegetable oil. Now I want you to fold in 2 cups of the zucchini you just shredded. I would normally use an icing spatula to fold in. And remember that zucchini we had before? You're going to want to make sure you press as much into your 2 cups as possible so that they're full. Completely full. You're going to end up using this whole bowl you shredded already, I guarantee it. Okay, that's 1 cup. Take out your whisk entirely and plop that in. Now you got to get your 2nd cup. It's okay to use your hands if you want. It's a little gooey, but there's a little bit of water in the bottom of the zucchini, and I'm trying not to get that in here. I don't want it to mess up the recipe. So, see, I had a little bit under 2 cups even, just from all mine. If you have any bits of skin, I wouldn't use them, unless they're tiny and shredded. See, I didn't even have 2 full cups. So put that in there. Now to fold it, you just take your icing spatula, you know, that you would use on cakes. And you fold, just very gently get the mixture around in there. Your clumps of zucchini should start to come apart slowly and mix in with your eggs and vegetable oil and vanilla. So I'm going to add my 2 1/4 cup sugar now at this point. There's 1 cup of the sugar. I'm excited because I actually just got some organic sugar. My mom got it for me to try out because it was on sale. So I really don't know if organic sugar tastes any better, but I guess I'll find out. Organic zucchinis and organic sugar. It's going to make this a pretty earth-friendly zucchini bread. Zucchini bread, not just zucchini. Looks a lot grainier than normal sugar, but I like it. I'm mixing regular sugar with organic, so hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. Alright, there's my 2 cups, and now a 4th. Which would be half of my 1/2 cup. Just to mix this together, so go back to your whisk. Alright, I got that mixed in there. Now I gotta add 3 cups of flour. Here's 1 cup of flour. 2 cups of flour. And 3 cups of flour. Yeah, even my large bowl, this mixture is starting to overflow, so make sure you use the biggest bowl you got on you. I have to be really careful now, mixing this together at this point. Oh man. I already know I'm going to be spilling half of this probably. It's starting to get a lot thicker now. Smells good. Now you gotta mix in 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Here's the 1 teaspoon baking powder. And the 1 teaspoon salt. Mix those in there good. Okay, now it says 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. And a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Tablespoon of ground cinnamon. And at this point, a lot of people like to add a pint of fresh blueberries, but I didn't feel like blueberries this time. Well, it smells great. So I should have a pretty thick consistency. Okay. Now you got to transfer this into your 4 mini loaf pans. This is the tricky part. You usually have to go pretty full on each one. I'm going to start by going about 2/3 full on each one, or 3/4, and then seeing how much batter I have left. Yeah, that does it on each one. About 3/4 full is the good amount to go. Each one should be about that full. So they're gonna puff up some while they're baking. Okay. Now I'm gonna put these in the oven for 50 minutes. Or you can do the toothpick test. If you stick a toothpick in and it comes out clean, they're ready. I recently just cleaned my oven, so it doesn't cook as hot. So I'm going to check on these at 35, see how they're doing. But if you got a hot oven, definitely check on them at 30, because they might bake in 30 minutes, or even 40. But I think with my newly cleaned oven, it'll probably take me the full 50. So I'm trying to do them all the same distance apart. I'm going to check them in half an hour. These actually ended up going 47 minutes for me, so that's real close to the 50 it required because I just cleaned this oven. So once they're pretty brown in color, and once the toothpick test works, you know, pull it out. This one's a little gooey, but that's only in the center. On the edges, they come out clean. So at this point, get your oven mitts, grab them, and then you're going to need to put them on a cooling rack and just let them sit for like 20 minutes, finish up baking internally. Turn off your oven. Your times might differ too based on where they're at in your oven. Mine were real close to the door, so I don't think they would heat up as much. I had one that was a little farther back. It's a little crispier. So let them set now on a cooling rack for 20 minutes, and then you can flip them out of it. They look pretty good. I like them a lot with blueberries too, but they're good either way. So this is one of the better things that I make. It's pretty easy. I haven't messed it up yet. So good luck trying this. They turned out good.